What is data mapping? Data mapping is the process of creating a relationship or connection between different data models or data structures. It involves identifying how data elements from a source system correspond to those in a target system. This is very crucial when transferring, integrating, or transforming data from one system to another. For example, if you are sending requests from a JavaScript front-end app to a Java Spring Boot backend application, the data coming from the front-end might not be in the form that the backend is expecting. Java uses camel cases in naming fields and variables, while JavaScript mainly uses a snake case method. Data mapping can be done manually or fully automatically using different tools, depending on the complexity and the volume of the data. Now, why should you use data mapping? Here are some of the reasons why I think you should always use data mapping. Number one, data mapping ensures accurate data transfer. This is due to the fact that different systems store data differently. It helps to prevent data loss when moving data from an old system to a new one. It helps in combining data from different sources into a unified view. It allows data to be converted from one format or structure to another. It helps ensure that sensitive data is handled correctly, especially in industries like healthcare and in finance. What are the advantages of data mapping? Here are the key advantages of data mapping. Number one, it ensures accuracy and minimizes errors by defining clear rules for data transformation. Number two, it enables seamless integration of data from multiple systems. Number three, it helps in time saving as it allows for the automation of mapping processes. Number four, it makes it easy to move data between different systems during migration. It can be very useful for getting comprehensive reports for analytics. What are the disadvantages of data mapping? Now let's look at the key disadvantages of data mapping because despite its numerous benefits, data mapping also has some challenges and disadvantages. Number one, data mapping can be very time consuming, especially when mapping large data sets with many transformations. Number two, data mapping requires some technical knowledge of both the source and the target systems. Number three, data mapping can lead to a serious error and inconsistency, especially if it is not done properly, and especially if you're also doing it manually. Number four, it can introduce additional maintenance costs, especially if the system evolves or is upgraded regularly. Data mapping can also be very expensive and costly to implement depending on the tool being used. So if you are doing it manually, it might be cheaper, but there's high chance that it might introduce bugs and inconsistency. But if you want to do it automatically, it requires some tools which require additional financial costs. Now let's look at some of the real-world applications where data mapping has been used. Number one, in healthcare, for mapping patient records from legacy systems to electronic health record systems. Number two, in finance, for integrating customer data from various banking systems into a centralized database. Number three, in e-commerce, for syncing our product data from vendors to internal systems or marketplaces. For instance, mapping product data from Amazon to Shopify. Number four, in data warehousing, for consolidating data from multiple sources. Number five, in government, for standardizing census data from multiple regions. Now, why should you have a good knowledge of data mapping as a programmer? Here are some of the reasons why I think you should have a good knowledge of data mapping as a software engineer. Number one, knowledge of data mapping is highly required because there is always a need for APIs to transform data between different formats such as JSON to XML or XML to the database. Number two, you may be involved in data migration or system upgrades, which will definitely require data mapping. Number three, good knowledge of data mapping will help you to write cleaner and more maintainable code for data processing. Number four, good knowledge of data mapping is highly required in fields like data engineering and data analytics. Good knowledge of data mapping also enhances your ability to debug and validate data integrations properly. You can liken data mapping to a puzzle. Imagine arranging different pieces of a puzzle from different boxes till everything is on point. This is exactly how data mapping helps to align fields from different sources to a target system or database. Data mapping helps to align every piece so they fit correctly. Here is a code snippet that exemplifies how data mapping works. Now, if you pay attention, you can see we have an entity here that holds user data. There are different fields such as the username, the email, the phone number, the password, and then there's a field for daily task. We also have a field for created at, which is the date when the user was created. Now, the daily task is an object on its own, alright? And it has its own peculiar details, and it is also mapped back to the user entity. The daily task entity has a lot of fields, as you can see here. Now, data mapping will come into play if my interest is to only return fields such as the username, his email, his phone number, and the name of the task assigned to him. This is how we can handle the mapping process to achieve our objective. So we'll start by creating a custom user response object. All right. So this user object will only contain those details that we're interested in. Then we'll then have this functionality for handling the mapping operations. Now, this mapping functionality will end up returning a structured response, which will consist of the username, the email, the phone number, and the daily task name as we wanted. Now, looking at the screen, you can see this is the response that we're expecting, and that is what this particular method will return. So this is how data mapping works. All right. So in summary, if you are a software engineer or someone working with data, mastering data mapping can significantly improve your ability to handle complex data systems and integrations.